This isn't a full mess kit, obviously. It's just the pan with the handle on it, so you can put it over the fire without burning yourself. And with these mess kits, they are fireproof, so you can actually cook in them. And I actually got this just to boil water, basically, if I needed to, which I wasn't planning on it. But you should always expect the best, but prepare for the worst. So, if for some reason, just say your water opens up in your pack, which also brings me to this water. If it just unscrews just that little bit, and it all comes out, then you have no water source. You know, what are you going to do then? So, which brings me to making sure that that won't happen. So what I do is, when I fill it up, I twist the cap as hard as I can, and then I go like that, and then I squeeze it a little bit. So if there are any tiny holes in it, for whatever reason, you'll be able to know. And I never fill it all the way to the top. Just seems better. There's no factual backing up that though. And it's also better if you have several smaller bottles and not one big jug. But in this case, I don't think I'll have a problem with it. I do have another water bottle and the Camelback and the filter, which brings me into, actually, I got one more thing. The Pt.2 stove. These are perfect for camping and hiking. They're lightweight for being stoves. You know, those big box suitcase stoves will be equal to basically all of this. So you're not going to want to bring something that heavy. But it just twists and comes out like full stove, and then twists onto that fuel cartridge. And that's what you can use for boiling water or cooking meals if you don't have access to a fire, or if you just don't want to have to hold it over there. And so now into water, I got the Camelback, got that water, this filter. This is a Katadyn, I think, Katadyn micro. Katadyn, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Katadyn micro. And this is it's a basic filter. It's supposed to filter out 99.9% of bacteria and microbes. And I've tried it a couple times on actual stream water. Didn't get sick, so that's a good sign. And before I used that in the field, I put Gatorade in it and filtered that through. And what you should do if you're going to use that as a test is smell it, taste it, and of course just look at it. It should be perfectly clear and resemble water in taste. So, and it did. So it works pretty good. Those are only about $30. They're a cheap filter, but they work pretty well. And if you do have to filter water, and it's like really bad water, if you end up having to do that, I take like a cloth or something like this and just filter the big stuff out with this, so that you can save the filter on your more expensive filter. And then also I missed this, gloves. I usually carry these on me when I'm hiking. If I'm in heavy brush, if it's a trail, I usually won't. Okay, so water, we're done with water. Actually, one more thing, make sure I don't miss anything. For water, a lot of people ask how much water to bring. In moderate climates, you know, around 70 degrees during the day, maybe 30, 40, not too much lower than that at night, you're going to want your body weight in ounces of water plus whatever you need for dehydrated food. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you want 150 ounces of water, which is a little more than a gallon. This, which is a gallon, is equal to 128 ounces. So if you weighed 150 and you're going for 2 days, you'd need 250 ounces. So you'd need just about 2 gallons of water. Unless, of course, you have something where you're going, like a water source, a stream that you can plan on filling up. So this isn't really that important, just so I can get out of the way. It's just a mask because I'm hiking to Blue Springs, so we're going to be going swimming, and I got my bathing suit over there. So next we got clothes. So the bathing suit, And then right here, you should always have a jacket, even if it's midsummer. You should usually carry a jacket, depending on where you are. I live in Florida, and I usually carry a jacket. So, but how I organize my clothes is just like this. It's the most compact way you can do it is to roll it up, and then I just put a belt around it so it doesn't come loose. I have spare everything in here for just one night. Long pants instead of short pants if you're going through heavy brush, and the belt, a long sleeve shirt, and a normal shirt. And of course, depending on how long you're going to be out, what temperatures you're dealing with will evaluate what you're going to bring with you. That's just a general idea. Okay, then already went over pots and pans. Fire. This right here is my main fire starter, and this. While I have this out, I'll just show you this. This is a watertight box. I usually carry a watertight box to keep everything that needs to be waterproof, because the backpack is generally waterproof, but it's not heavy duty waterproof. If you submerge that in water, it's gonna get wet. And I mean, the inside will get wet, obviously, the outside will. So this is basically everything I have for fire. I got a flint and magnesium stick, and make sure you know how to use these before you rely on them. You know, if you're going to bring them and bring something else, that's fine, but don't plan on it working for you unless you know it's going to work for you. And then I got fire starter, which is just a little bit of hay and a cotton ball. The main point isn't that there won't be kindle in there, it's that it might not be dry enough to start a big fire. And then in here I just got some matches, and strike anywhere matches in this little container. So then I already went over the cell phone, GPS, and compass, navigation basically. I got it right here. So first I got a GPS, which I keep in this small waterproof, or slightly waterproof I should say, bag. Just keeps it from getting dirty and slightly wet and from dew. And then on this is actually an electronic thermo compass. It has a compass on it. It has altitude and temperature and a couple other things, time, date, things like that. So it's really useful, but never rely on something that's electronic in the outdoors, because the outdoors with electronics, usually something can go wrong. And when something can go wrong, you want to make sure that you have a backup. Okay, and then this, it's just a watertight bag with a map of the general area. You should get a broad area map, so including everywhere you're going to hike, or at least most of the area, and another compass. This is like my standard compass I actually use. And map, you don't really need to see the map, it's just a map of the area I'm hiking in. Although I do mark the areas that I'm planning on walking so that I can know. I plan it here and then do it out there. And I also have 4 AA batteries. I have a couple of things that run on AA, so I keep spares in here, which also weighs down the bag, because this compass is really light and the rest is just paper. So if you take this out to look at the map to make sure you're staying on the right track, and you set it down for some reason and it flies away, you know, so I have something to weigh it down, and it keeps the batteries waterproof. But the clock, this is obviously not a necessity, but the clock, just in case you have to wake up, because I already have the watch, but it's good for night when you're actually in your tent or whatever you're using for shelter. And the main reason I carry this is for the alarm. So if I'm planning on leaving a campsite at a certain time, I can wake up when I want to. Unless, of course, your watch has an alarm on it, that's fine. Or cell phone. We've already gone over that. Alright. Then, first aid.